Welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast, where our mission is to help you heal yourself so you can heal the world. Hi, my name is Noah Crane. Each week, we will bring you tips and tools and inspire you to live your most empowered and joyful life. I'm also the founder of the 3G Effect Mindset, a daily practice to keep you heart-centered in everything you do by taking 3 important actions. Number 1, having a grateful heart and connecting to your gratitude daily. When you are connected to your gratitude, you're focusing on what's working in your life right now. You're being more present and connecting more to positive feelings and positive emotions. Rather, by doing that, you are connecting more to those feelings, drawing more positive things into your life in people and experiences. So keep plugging in into the grateful heart. So I want to ask you right now, what are you grateful for? There's so much to be grateful for. I'm grateful for this moment, to get to be with all of you. So I'm grateful for all of you out there listening to the podcast right now. So think for yourself what you're grateful for every single day. Number 2, learn to ground in love and compassion. First, love and compassion for yourself, because everything starts with you. And then learn to share that love and compassion with others. The way when you are sharing love and compassion with others, you are able to remove judgments and live in a place of more love and acceptance. When you're in that place of love and acceptance, you are drawing more positive experiences into your life, more positive people. So keep plugging into that love and compassion. I really believe, as we all know, that the world is round. So I believe that the energy, therefore, moves in a round circle. So whatever you put out will come back to you. So if what I do every day is I put out hearts. I put out heart emojis. I wrap people with my love. When I see them going through difficult situations, difficult times, I send them my love energetically. And I believe when you send out love to people, you get to have more abundance of love in your life, more compassion in your life. And don't we all want more love and compassion we got to give it out in order to have an abundance of that in return. And the third one is to know that you are guided by God. God is inside you, beside you, all around you. Learn to open your heart and soul to the magic and the power of God. God is here to guide you. So learn to ask God for guidance on your journey, to thank God daily for everything that's working in your life right now and for everything, because you couldn't be who you are without that support and love of God, because He created all of us. And then also, when you're plugged into that energy of high vibration, that energy of God, you are drawing more positive things into your life as well. God will send you messages and signs in a way of messages that are just for you. All you have to do is listen. So every day, pay attention and pray to God. Ask God for support, because you will be so much more successful with the support and love of God. By practicing the 3G Effect mindset, you will see miracles open up in your life every single day. Just now when I got to the studio, literally just as I got here, and usually I have a hard time finding a parking space, somebody just left right in front and I was able to get a parking space. It's these little experiences and little things. When we're grateful for that, we create more of that on a daily basis. So keep staying in a positive mindset and positive attitude so you could draw all these miracles into your life. Today, I'm really excited about what we're going to be speaking about. We're going to be speaking about money, 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 money. So money is such an important subject to us all, and even more today. So with so much uncertainty in the world, we could all use more money and have our money work better for us. So I'm very excited to introduce today's guest. Fred Moskowitz is an educator and a best-selling author who has trained countless investors from all walks of life how to create passive income streams of their own. His new book, The Little Green Book of Note Investing, has recently launched. Fred, welcome to the World Healing Tour podcast.
Thank you, Noah. It's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. I'm so excited to have you here. And we all want to learn more about money. So this is going to be such a great conversation, and I'm sure we're going to really open our minds because you do the work and you've helped so many people. So you want to start by
really looking forward to it. Noah, I just want to compliment you. That was a beautiful opening message that you had, and such a powerful reminder to all of us, especially about having gratitude. That is something that what a better way to start
Mhm.
our day in the morning is to be in gratitude and reflect on the great things we have, the gifts that we have, and it's wonderful, and
Mm.
we don't have enough reminders, I feel like. So thank you for sharing that with all of us and starting off the podcast with that. That's wonderful.
Thank you so much, Fred. And I know you're a very spiritual person. And I love that you mentioned that because um, for me, gratitude just brings so much more abundance into our lives, including money, right? Do you feel like gratitude has a connection to money?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, it does. Gratitude, gratitude has so many qualities and characteristics and benefits. One of the big ones that I have is it has a way of displacing other negative things in our lives, and whether negative emotions or negative feelings, if you are in that and you start focusing on gratitude, it displaces all of those other emotions that we don't want. And so it's very powerful. And when it comes to money, absolutely, there's so much we can talk about with mindset, and of course the strategies and tactics about how to grow money and investing and all of that. But like I said earlier, gratitude is really the place to start.
I love that, Fred. And you brought in something that I actually want to start speaking about mindset, because I think mindset is the foundation and the key to everything we have in our lives. Because, whether we think we can or we think we can't, we've all heard that before, we're going to be right. So let's start
Yeah.
about mindset and how mindset can actually affect us receiving money or not receiving money.
Yeah, absolutely. A big part of mindset when it comes to money is, from speaking with so many investors that I speak with in my line of work, and the conversations I have, it's very common. A lot of people grow up having these limiting beliefs around money, and what happens is it has such an influence on each of us as we grow from children into adults, and that dictates a lot. Think about this. Consider this. How many of you have uh, heard things someone might have said like this, like, "I'm not good with money," or "Money doesn't grow on trees," or I'm terrible at handling money." I'm not good with numbers. All of that, it creates fear and uncertainty, and people may get into a mode where, when it comes to money, they don't want anything to do with it. They ignore it. They don't pay attention, and when that happens, unfortunately, it's not a framework that's going to set us up for success. And so it takes work. It takes work as we grow and evolve as adults to unravel some of these limiting beliefs and to build confidence and faith around money, that it's up to each of us to get educated, to educate ourselves on how to handle money, how to manage it, how to grow it, and to take action as well. And so when you do that, you can start to undo some of these mindset issues around uh, limiting beliefs that we're not good at handling money, or a scarcity mindset um, where if someone makes money, that means someone else gave up or lost money, and it doesn't work like that. Uh, there is an abundance of resources in the world, and what happens is each of us, we focus on getting ourselves educated, getting up to speed, and putting that into practice, taking action, and putting that together with the belief and confidence in yourselves. That's where you can start to make progress. And progress happens little by little. It's not overnight, not by any means. It's slow and gradual. And as an investor, one of the biggest strengths that we have is pursuing investing, pursuing growth of wealth with a long-term perspective, not overnight, not in 1 or 2 months. I'm talking 10 years, 15 years, 20 years with that perspective. And having that with consistency, that's where we can really see some results.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that so many of us are blocked. We have blocks from our past, and, it's you even hear comparisons like, is it better to have money or to be healthy? Like one has anything to do with the other. It doesn't make any sense, right? How our stories and what we tell ourselves about
Yeah,
money really create so much fear within people. And
it
fear,
does.
even fear of their own greatness, fear of abundance, fear of receiving, fear of having. We're so in our own way. And I think that all stems from our limited beliefs.
Absolutely. And consider this, Noah. What if instead of thinking about scarcity and having that belief, what if instead we go to the other end of the spectrum and live in a world where this abundance, there are enough resources, as much as we want for everyone, and it's a matter of the beliefs we have and the actions that we take that can shift that a lot. But if you stay in a scarcity mindset and focus on a world of not enough, well, guess what? That's going to be the reality that you get to experience in your life.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because we really do create our own reality. And everything that we have today is really comes down to our belief system of what we
Yeah.
can have and what we can't have. But why do so many people still struggle with money? Why is it such a hard conversation for people, would you say?
I would say it really comes down a lot to fear, um, fear, not knowing what to do. And so people can become paralyzed. We can become paralyzed easily. We don't know. It could come from some kind of loss that occurred in the past. Think about this during economic downturns, and I've seen this happen many times. Where um, what happens is the economy goes down, stock market takes a tumble, and you could be sitting there with a 401k account from your employer, and you look at it and you see that practically overnight, your 401k became a 201k and took a major loss. And then so that can cause uh, real struggles with people because they have to recover from that, and it creates fear and uncertainty, and a lot of times uh, many people will give up, or they'll choose to, hey, I don't want to, they'll take a position, I don't want to invest anymore, so I'm going to get out of all of my investments and sit in cash, right? Well, what happens when you do that? If you think about it, um, sitting in cash, there's no growth on that money. And over time, the value of it, the spending power of those dollars is going to decrease because it gets eroded by inflation. And everyone can relate these days, the price of everything is going up at a very fast rate. And so if you had $1,000, the spending power of that $1,000 is decreasing every single year. And so sitting on cash out of fear is a terrible thing. And I've seen investors, they'll get into a cash position and they say, I'm going to wait until the right moment to get back into investing. And they wait and they wait and they wait and they don't do anything. And then the next thing you know, years and years have gone by. And that's terrible. If you have money for investing, the goal is to keep it invested at all times. And if there's a downturn, instead of being in a place of fear and worrying about uncertainty, what if instead you are looking for opportunities where, yeah, maybe the price of investments, price of assets has gone down. Well, is that a maybe that's a good time to buy something, to buy a property, buy an investment property, or buy a stock in the company you're looking at, or invest in a particular deal and take advantage of lower prices. And so those are some of the ways that that you can really shift your approach and thinking when those things come up, and a scarcity mindset. But it takes a lot of work. It's not something that we can change overnight. It takes dedication and time. But a big part of this, Noah, is something that I always love talking about. It's about the people that you're spending time with. Who are the people around you? Because that influences what kind of conversations you're having. And there are people that don't like talking about money or talking about investing. I love it. I love it because when you get around people that are knowledgeable about investing, you learn things. Maybe you'll have opportunities open up to you. You're going to be around successful people that they'll be happy to teach you, and you can learn from them. So there are a lot of benefits, but a big part of the mindset has to do with who are the people around you. And if you surround yourself with people that are doing well financially or in business, well, then that's going to set you up to be on a path for growth. And by the way, this can work in the negative direction as well. So if you're surrounded by people that are not in that those positions, it will pull you down. Will pull you down just like anything else. Just like anything else. So pay attention to that, to who are the people you surround yourself with and the influences you have in your life, because it really does make a difference on so many levels.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because they always say you're the product of the five people that
Yeah.
surround you, and so
Jim Rohn.
yeah, and yeah, so I've heard that a lot being said, and you're right, that is really important. But when we talk about somebody new who's just starting out, let's say somebody in their 20s who's never
Yeah.
invested, they're not really making a lot of money, they're working, a 9 to 5 job. How
Mhm.
can they start being interested in making money and investing and learning more on how to make their money grow since they're not making a lot right now?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple things for sure. So for someone that's working at a job in any position, every company, they will offer some type of retirement plan, 401k plan, and so look at the options and participate in that. Um, you can decide how much is appropriate for you, but what I like is make sure you're at least taking advantage of company matching. They will match some percentage of your contribution. If you can do enough so that you take full advantage of that benefit, so that if you contribute $500 a month, well, then you're going to get matching on that, whatever you can afford. Maybe you can only afford to set aside 1% of your paycheck, let's say. So start there. Start with something small, and then over time you can increase that. But that's a great way to get started. So definitely look for that from your employer. And another thing is if your employer offers a Roth 401k option, pick that because that allows your money to grow tax free. And then when you withdraw it, it's all the profits, all the growth comes back to you tax free. And so I'm always an advocate for reducing your taxes or paying as little as legally required of your taxes. There's some different strategies for that, but you have to learn how to do it. No one's going to do it for you. And if you don't pay attention, you could be end up paying more taxes than is your fair share, and that's on you, right? That's the bottom line. And no one has an obligation to pay more than their fair share of taxes. So look for some of these benefits like a Roth 401k, or if that's not available, you can set up a Roth IRA on your own and start contributing to that. Contribute whatever amount you can, $50 a month, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever small amount you can do, get started, get the habit going, because what will happen is 10 years will go by. And then when you look back to see how far you've come, it will be huge. So uh, that's another thing. Now, a third idea is see if there's a way that you can get involved in having an investment property, real estate owning real estate that's set up as a rental property is a great way to get started building wealth for anyone. There's so many benefits to that. And the government and the IRS really incentivizes owning real estate, rental real estate. It's incentivized through the tax code because they need people to offer quality housing in this country. And so that activity is incentivized through the tax code. There's so many tax benefits to owning rental real estate. And I always encourage everyone, look into it, see how you can get involved. That is something that has built so much wealth in this country, and there's no reason why anyone can't get involved in it. There's a lot of programs for um, first-time home buyers and different lending options. So for someone with a small down payment can get into a property that is worth a lot more because of than what they're putting down, and you finance the rest. And if everything's done in a proper way, set up in a smart way, then you're going to be making money in the long run. In the beginning, it's hard. It's hard. You're not going to make much at first, but after a decade has gone by and you have a rental property that's stable and bringing in steady income, maybe you liked it after a couple of years and you did a second one or third one. Now you're going to be sitting in a very strong financial position. So those are some tips, and these are things that anyone at a young age can get started with.
And you don't need to put much of a down payment. You're saying you can finance most of it, so anybody with decent credit can get a loan to invest into real estate?
Yes,
That is awesome. I think that's a really good thing, and we know a lot of people that are making incredible money with real estate. So that's always a great thing.
yeah.
Thank you, Fred. That makes a lot of sense. And do you think that it's important for also to be able to budget our money? Because should we like be spending less? Like, is there a way to budget ourselves to success?
It's important. It's important, but um, we have to consider this. You can't. budget yourself down to zero and save 100% of your pay, your income. That's not realistic. But so extremes are not going to be working. S- Be somewhere in the middle of the road, but do have a plan. Do have a good handle on what are your monthly expenses that you're paying every month, and take some time to write those all out and have a clear picture. Okay, here's how much is coming in every month, here's how much is going out every month, and now you have an idea, and you can make some adjustments as appropriate, but you don't want to just um, go through blind. You don't want to go through this with the attitude that ignorance is bliss because you just don't pay attention to it. That you only know the only way you know how much money you have is by the balance on your ATM receipt when you take money out at the ATM, and that. So really have a good understanding of that. And once you have a clear picture, then you can see if you need to make adjustments in one area or another, and are you in a good spot. You want to make sure for certain that you're not spending more money than you're making each month, because if you're doing that, you're accumulating bad debt most likely on your credit cards and increasing balance. And so it's important to be mindful about that.
Yes, definitely. That's really important. It's I feel like money's like a seed, like you were saying. You have to make it grow for you and support you on this journey, because otherwise it's very easy to spend money. And a lot of people say like cash is king, but I think it's not really true, right? Investing sounds more like it's king because that actually grows.
Yeah, exactly. It's owning assets that grow, that create income for you. If you're religious person, you may have heard of the uh, story in the Bible about the parables, right? About um, the employees on the farm, that they were each given bags of gold, and each one of them had to do something with it. And the ones that didn't do well were the ones that buried it in the ground and just dug it up at the end and gave it back. Uh, so that's the analogy. What do you do with the money that you're saving? It's not about what kind of work you do or how much you earn. It's what do you do with the money that you're earning.
Yeah, that makes sense. So many of us make really good money, but we're not investing it and we're spending a lot of it. What would you say to
Yeah.
people like that are spending more than they're making?
Well, that's not sustainable.
Mhm.
How long can you realistically live that way? Most likely you're living above your means. Um, and so that's something like I said earlier, get a handle on your income and expenses, and you can either increase your income or you can reduce your expenses. You have a choice. How do you want to manage that so that you're living not in the red but in the black, as I say. You have more coming in than going out.
I like the increase your income thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many ways to do that, right? One Noah, what I said earlier, that our government, the US government, incentivizes uh, two particular activities. One of them is owning rental real estate, but you know what the other one is?
No, I don't.
It's being a small business owner. If you're a small business owner, this is another activity that's incentivized in the tax code. And you get all of these deductions that you can take advantage of if you have a legitimate business set up. And so anyone is able, it doesn't matter if you're working, what you're doing, but anyone can start a side business, a side hustle, as they say, right? And monetize that. What I love talking about, one of my favorite ways to do it is if you have a hobby, some leisure activity that you love and enjoy, and you have experience doing it, see if there's a way you can turn that into a business and make money from it, whether it's in teaching the activity to others, or having a blog or a podcast about it that you can monetize, or a direct business offering products and services around that. Excuse me. You have that expertise, and so you can turn something that you enjoy doing into a business, and that can make money for you, increasing your income, and also brings a wealth of tax benefits as a business owner to you. So you benefit two ways. So now what are you doing? You have more money coming in from the revenue, and now you have more tax deductions. So that means you're paying less in taxes every year. And what does that do? That puts more money in your pocket. Now you have more money that you could invest with. So you see how all of that works together. It's interrelated.
Absolutely, definitely. And how important is it to have multiple streams of income? Would you say that's part of it? Is having more than one stream of income?
Absolutely. I l- I feel really strongly about this, and I was in this situation. I made this mistake myself. Uh, I was previously working as a computer engineer. I had a long career as a computer engineer. And as you can imagine, the tech industry, it's a roller coaster ride of ups and downs. And I realized through that I was taking on a huge risk because I only had one source of income, my paycheck from my job, and nothing else. And that's something that could be interrupted at any time through no fault of my own. Maybe the economy goes into downfall, or the company goes under and declares bankruptcy. This happens a lot with technology startups and technology companies. And so, what if you have other streams of income? You have a side business that's generating revenue, or you own assets that are investments, real estate. I invest a lot in mortgage notes. So it doesn't matter when you have assets like that, it doesn't matter what happened with your job or what happened with the stock market. It's not relevant because you have rental properties that are stable. They're generating income for you. Do you own mortgage notes? There's monthly mortgage payments coming in every month. And so these all contribute to your personal cash flow, and maybe one of them will have a temporary interruption. Well, you can now rely on the other sources of income to tide you over until things get back on track again. And life is full of ups and downs. We have uncertainty, we have um, just challenges that come up. Maybe you get hurt or sick or injured and you can't work for a little while. Well, if you have other sources of income, that's going to cover your expenses while you're not working. Maybe you have a child, a newborn, and you want to take some time off, or you have a sick family member that you're going to care for them, and you need to take time off to do that. Well, if you have other sources of income, now you have options. Now you have options, and you can do that, and not have to worry about money because the income's still coming in. And isn't that ultimately what we all want in life, Noah? Is to have options, to have choices, to be able to make decisions on our own terms.
Absolutely. To have that safety net is so
Yeah.
important, right? To know that, we're not going to, even if something happens, we're still going to be okay because we have that safety net.
Yeah.
It just makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. It does. It makes a huge difference.
So if somebody wants to learn more about like investments and money, do you teach that, or is there something you recommend for them, some kind of course or some kind of thing to learn more about, for example, how to invest into real estate and different kind of options and loans? Like where do they learn about those things if they really didn't grow in an entrepreneurial home where they learned those things, right?
Yeah.
How do they learn those things?
Yeah, that's a great question. Unfortunately, this is not something that's taught in school. I didn't grow up in an entrepreneurial home myself. All I grew up learning was get good grades and get a good education and get a good stable job and you'll do well. And we all know how that narrative is totally not. It doesn't hold up. And so we have to go out on our own to get self-educated and learn. There's so many resources available to us now. We have different podcasts, we have YouTube with videos about everything under the sun. It doesn't matter what you want to learn about when it comes to investing, but also a great area that I like is get involved in different groups and organizations. There are many of them: real estate investing, mortgage note investing. There's a local group near you that you can go and attend and start to learn and meet and network other people and build relationships. And books, there's so much out there. There's online courses and education. And so starting out, I would say books are a great option. It's low cost and accessible to everyone, but also find some podcasts that you like and listen to them and learn about what other people are doing. And the next one where you're spending a little more money is attending conferences, events, and workshops. But a big part of those is the education is great, but also the networking opportunities. Because who else is there? People that are interested in that same subject and people that have a lot of experience as well. And so you build relationships out of that. And that's very important.
I really believe relationship is the key to everything in life.
It
And,
is.
when we keep doing the same things, how can we expect to have a different results? But so many of us just continue in that cycle of scarcity, not breaking free and seeing that there's another way. There's other places you can invest your money, do bigger things with your money to help your money work for you instead of
Yeah.
work against you. It's either working for you or I see it's working against you. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I love what you said about doing the same thing over and over again, right? It just brought to mind that famous maxim that I'm sure many of you have heard is if you do what you've always done, then you're going to get what you've always gotten. And so, yes, we have to put the energy in to change things up and try something new, try something different, push out of your uh, comfort zone and your familiarity zone and go meet some other people, find what successful people are doing and ask them some questions, ask them for guidance. And so that's going to set you down a different trajectory when you do that.
Yes, and everything's in the guidance. I mean, even as far as parenting goes, right? Just to get off the subject, there's so many
Mm.
parenting books out there, and we could learn so much. Yet, so many of us, including myself, I wasn't reading a lot of parenting books. I was just kind of, leading by the heart. And we can learn so much from others. The struggle is because we're not learning from others. People have been there, they've done it, they can teach us, and there's always a new path to take. But because we're so conditioned to stay comfortable where we are and to keep doing the same things, we're not taking chances, we're not getting uncomfortable, we're not getting to a new result in our life. And it's all about
Yeah,
creating new results, right?
it is. It is for sure. It is. And I'll tell you what, when you meet someone that's successful, don't be afraid to ask for help. People are more than happy to help, to give suggestions, and make sure you're asking help from someone that is successful in the area that you're talking about. That's super important. Don't ask for advice that people from people that are not successful, right? Would you go hire a personal trainer that's out of shape and overweight? No, absolutely not. That's the worst person to give you advice on that subject. You would go find someone that's into fitness and they live a healthy lifestyle, and you can see that, and they have that energy, and you're going to meet them. Say you'll be attracted to that. You're going to say, I want to learn from you because you're obviously doing the things right. And actions and results is what really drives things, not what someone's talking about.
Definitely. And during recession, which a lot of people say we are going into recession and more uncertain times, there's a lot of
Yeah.
people that are still going to make a lot of money, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're absolutely, absolutely. Consider this, Noah, during the pandemic, where we were overloaded with fear and uncertainty so much in the world. Think about this, how many new businesses got formed and started during the pandemic because people um, decided it was the right moment to leave their job and start their own business, or somebody started a side business. And so all of the growth and creation that came out of that was one of the positive outcomes of the pandemic. Not to mention, I feel like technology and advances accelerated to a tremendous rate over the past couple of years. I would say, like in the past 3 years, it feels like we jumped forward 10 or 20 years in the realm of technology and innovation. So much.
And there's a lot of people making money online right now, too, as well.
Yeah, a lot of people started online businesses or created a course that they're selling or doing education and training. So much. So much.
There's so much to learn and so much to grow. And what are the great benefits of having a lot of money or of having that financial freedom? What are some things you would tell people? How would that change their lives?
The biggest one is, as I said before, it's about having options and choices in life. The money itself doesn't make you happy. It's what you can do from having that money that makes you happy. The experiences that you have, the ability to spend time the way you want and be with the people that you want to be with. And so that's where the benefit is, and you're able to make more of an impact. You can donate money and resources to a cause that you love, or maybe you want to donate time, that if that's a better use, or a better way that you can make an impact, you can donate time and volunteer and do different things. And so it's almost like you're taking charge of your own life and the direction that you want to go in, instead of it being dictated for you by your circumstances. And that's very powerful.
Definitely. And is it important, like once we have money and we create more wealth in our lives, how important is it to give back and to, like a lot of people will give 10% of what they make to charity or to help others. I think there's an energy between giving and receiving. Do you believe that?
Yeah, there definitely is. There definitely is. There's an energetic connection to money, and I feel an obligation to all of us to be a good steward of the money that we have and the resources that we have. And if we do that, we get rewarded. Um, and so that's definitely something that comes into play. If you don't know how to handle money, if you're not a good steward of it, what's going to happen is you're going to be separated from it pretty quickly. And so, just as an example, and this has been very well documented, a lot of people that are lottery winners, they study them, they look at them and see that within 2 or 3 years' time, they lost everything that they won. The winnings they had is gone. Everything's gone. We see it with celebrities and professional athletes when they retire, stop playing. They made a lot of money while they were active in their sports and athletic career, but then within a few years, it's all gone because they didn't have good habits. Maybe they didn't know how to be a good steward of that money. And so eventually equilibrium happens and everything naturally goes back to the way it was. And this happens over and over again. It's very well documented.
Yeah, that is so interesting to me, right? How people can have so much and go from having it all, like what you just said, to having nothing. And that has to come with a lack of growth mindset or not knowing, how to get the right resources, where to plug your money into, because the whole idea is to make your money grow for you. And if you're not doing that, the money is going to go.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, that's a harsh reality. Yeah, and like I said, this is something that's very well studied and documented, and continues to happen over and over again.
Yeah, I really do find that fascinating. I was reading it the other day about a bunch of celebrities that are broke now, and I was really blown away. I'm like, how could that be? But it's really true. If we don't take the right actions in our lives to make sure that we are, growing ourselves, and if you don't know what to do with your money, you get people to help you. And that's why it's so important, like you said, to be around people that can educate you about it so you can, learn to keep what you have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It makes all the difference. This is why this is why we hear this as children, and parents are always concerned about who are your friends, who are the people you're hanging out with, because it's going to have a huge influence. And it's not only for children, it's for adults as well. And it makes all the difference in the world.
Thank you, Fred. This has really been eye opening. Is there anything else before, anything else that you want to share with our audience about money? Any other last tips of wisdom that you want to throw our way?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to mention this. Um, I want to share a lesson from one of my mentors who is actually one of the founding fathers of America. So I'm from Philadelphia. I'm a Philadelphia guy, and um, one of our most famous founding fathers, who was also a Philadelphian, is Benjamin Franklin, and he's someone that was a very wise man, invented so many innovations that are still in place today. And he left us with this wonderful quote. And it goes like this: an investment in knowledge always pays the highest dividends. And so this is something that's so true. Uh, it's important to always be learning, investing in yourself. Don't be one of those people that when you graduate from high school or graduate from college, that you're done learning. You don't need to open another book or read or anything. That's totally not not the reality. Instead, I like to take the approach. I'm a lifelong learner, and so I'm always learning every day, learning new things, attending workshops and trainings, attending events, taking classes, all of these different ways, listening to podcasts, reading books. You can always grow and learn new things and skills about everything. And so don't be afraid to spend money on that, on your own growth and education, and attend events in person, attend workshops where you can learn and grow and evolve as a person, as an investor, as a business owner. There's so much out there. And this growth can be, it can be business skills, it can be technical things, it can be working on soft skills, mindset. I've taken a class in negotiation, for instance, right? Or how to um, interact when negotiation, how to interact better with people, with others. And there's a lot of science behind that and a lot of skills. Learning, if you're a business owner, you could go take classes or workshop on tax strategies. This is relevant for any business. How do you structure your affairs so that you're paying the least amount of taxes that you're legally required to pay? If you're starting a podcast, well, you can take a class or workshop about how to be a better podcaster, or go to a event or conference on podcasting and learn that skill if that's something you're interested in. And so there's all these different areas, and I would say never stop learning, never stop investing in yourself. It's one of the best investments that we can ever make.
I love that, Fred. And also, when you said negotiating, what it made me think of is sales, right? How important it is to be good in sales in order to make money.
Absolutely. I consider myself a student of sales because I never worked in that role ever. I was always a technical guy, I'm the engineer. And so I've always been good with dealing with people, which is a big part of sales, but there's a lot to it. And so I've learned a lot. I study. There's some really great sales trainers that you can take training online, learn from them. And in reality, we're all in sales, every single one of us. We're positioning positioning our point of view, or providing a product or service to the marketplace. And so, yeah, we're in sales, whether you think you are or aren't. You are, all of us. You may be just negotiating about your child's bedtime, or about where you're gonna go out for lunch with your colleagues or friends. But part of that, it's all sales. And so we can study from some of the greats that were sales trainers and learn their methods and systems. And it's beneficial for just about everyone.
I love that. So, how do we find your book, The Little Green Book of Note Investing, and what can we learn from that?
Yeah, thank you, Noah. It's available on Amazon. You can go right on Amazon and it will come up, The Little Green Book of Note Investing. You can search for that. And that book is on the business of investing in mortgage notes, in residential mortgage notes, just like the bank does. And I teach all the different strategies for how to find notes to buy, how to analyze them, and how to manage a portfolio of investments. It's something that a lot of people are familiar with because they bought a house and they got financing on the house. Well, that note and mortgage you signed at closing, most likely it was sold on the secondary market, and another institution or other investor went and bought that note, and they're holding it, and so they're the ones receiving those monthly payments. And so that's what the book is about. It's about how this industry works and how to get involved in it. And any individual is able to own a note and benefit from that. And so that's what I teach about, and always love sharing strategies and ideas around note investing with other investors that are interested.
So, Fred, this has been such an eye opening experience today to speak with you about money. I think we all need more support in that field. I know that I do personally. I want to ask you, how can people find you and connect with you to learn more?
Yeah, thank you for that. No, best way to reach me is to visit my website, which is fredmoskowitz.com. And if you prefer a little bit of an easier spelling, you can visit giftfromfred.com. We'll take you right to my website where you can connect with me. And you can also request a special report I have on note investing. Happy to email that out to anyone that requests it, and we'll send that to you. And another way to reach out and connect with me is through text message by texting the keyword money to the phone number 215-461-4433, and then just follow the prompts from there. I always love connecting with investors, sharing strategies and ideas about investing, and so I look forward to connecting with you.
Say that number one more time.
Absolutely. It's text the keyword money to the number 215-461-4433.
That's great. I love that. Just text money and you get all the great information. Thank you,
Yeah.
Fred, so much. It's really been such an amazing conversation. And I know it's going to help so many people start thinking about doing something differently in their lives, because when we take different actions, we really do get to create something completely different in our lives. And that's exciting. And that's really something to look forward to, because I do believe that all of us deserve to be abundant.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's something that's available to all of us, and all it takes is to set the intention and to take action.
So simple, and something we can all do. So thank you so much, Fred. So enjoyed having you as my guest today. I want to thank Fred for empowering us today to think differently about our money, so we can create more money, because it's all about having more abundance. Nobody should suffer these days with all the resources out there. We can all have more and still, be able to grow ourselves to new levels. That's what it's all about. We are students. We are here to grow. Until next time, remember to do the 3 important actions every day: to have a grateful heart, to ground in love and compassion, and to know that you are guided by God. What miracles will you experience this week? Until next time, my friends, have a beautiful week. Namaste.